Employee found dead in cubicle after apparently dying their days earlier. This is the big late stage capitalism story of the week. In a late stage capitalist tragedy, an Arizona bank employee was found dead in her cubicle on Tuesday after clocking in on a Friday and apparently never clocking back out. As Arizona's KPNX local broadcaster reports, Tempe police are investigating the death of 60-year-old Wells Fargo employee Denise Prudhomme after her body was found at her desk last week, and officials believe she may have died there up to 4 days prior. Building records indicated that Prudhomme had scanned into the Wells Fargo corporate office where she worked at around 7 a.m. on August 16th and never scanned back out. Police came to the scene on August 20th after security workers found her unresponsive, and she was declared dead upon arrival. This is like one of the opening scenes in 6 Feet Under. Um, with her cubicle on the building's third floor away from the main aisle, it seems that the unfortunate worker may have died at some point during the workday that Friday and was quite literally left to rot over the weekend before anyone noticed. What's worse, several employees had, per an anonymous employee who spoke to the local NBC affiliate, complained of a foul odor coming from the area surrounding her desk, but
Jesus.
it was presumed to have come from faulty plumbing. While most of the people in Prudhomme's office reportedly work remotely, the same concerned worker told KPNX that the bank employs 24-hour security and that Prudhomme's body should have been discovered sooner. Quote, "That's the scary part," the employee told the news outlet. "It's negligence in some part." Tempe police have not released many details about Prudhomme's cause of death beyond saying they don't currently suspect any foul play was involved. Nevertheless, this is a chilling cautionary tale that, per the anonymous employee who spoke to the NBC affiliate, Wells Fargo hasn't spoken to employees about. All right, so we're going to take a look at what one employee had to say about this.
Anonymously.
Was just uncomfortable.
Again, calling on the company to do more.
Body was there about 4 days before anybody found it, before anybody walked up to her and just to say hi, make sure she's okay.
4
She was just
days.
laying on her desk.
A Wells Fargo spokesperson previously sent 12 News a statement saying, in part, "We are deeply saddened by the tragic loss of our colleague at our Tempe office," adding counselors through our employee assistance consulting service are available to support employees. An employee tells me their direct management offered those services, addressed the incident, and told workers the building was thoroughly cleaned. And a Wells Fargo spokesperson did not have new information to share with me tonight. The Maricopa County medical examiner is investigating the cause of death. In studio, Gabriela Becerra.
Okay. All right. So I have a lot of thoughts. Okay. One, wow. How alienated a society have we created? There are so many things that we just take for granted as normal. The fact that we've created a society where people are so alienated from their labor, that they're so alienated from each other, that something like this could even happen, where somebody could just die at their desk and have so little relationship or human connection to any of the other people that work there that nobody would even notice it, that people would come close enough to notice the odor and not notice the dead person sitting at the desk.
Ugh.
That is incredible. And just a second point on a personal note that I will make, I've been doing a lot of traveling the last few years. Man, that's part of why. Like, I've always had the underlying logic, maybe because, my mother was very ill. So death was always kind of a shadow in my life from very early on, like the concept that this person could die.
Right.
So the idea of doing things because you're supposed to has never made any sense to me. to live your life because you're afraid of what might happen if you do this or do that. It's never made sense to me because I had an awareness of my own mortality from pretty much from childhood. Look at this, man. Look at this. Like, yo, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Like to live your life like this? I mean, shit. You'd be better off being freaking living in a tent to me, to my mind. Like what is that security for? Now you're dead forever. What was your life for to live it like that? And on a broader level, man, do we want to have a civilization that puts people in that position? Like that's not human. That's not human. That's not a human life to just what push around papers for some company and then drop dead at your desk at 60. What was her life for?
And then no one notices.
And then no one notices. And now she's just going to be, buried, forgotten.
Yeah.
Terrible. It's horrible.
It's a cubicle. A cubicle. Yeah. I mean, how? Yeah. I mean, it's almost impossible to fathom how it could go unnoticed. But yes, I mean, that you talk about alienation. I mean, there's no more morbid example than that. There's no more morbid example than that. I mean, it seems impossible. That seems like something that if you were to write it in a sci-fi novel about the future, people would say, well, I understand what you're going for, but this could never happen in real life. Like, it would require almost too much suspension of disbelief.
Well, it would play a satire.
Play a satire. Exactly. It would play as over-the-top satire. Hey, this could never really happen. But isn't this farce? And that's Wells Fargo. It's Wells Fargo. Eric Crusoe, Weekend at Wells Fargo. Just gave us that one. Yeah. Yep.
Well, and the fact that they came back to work, this person had so little connection to the coworkers. There was no one who would have, as a matter of course, walked over to the desk to say hi.
Right. Yep.
So that's, I mean, for me, that plays on two levels. On a personal level, don't let yourself become that person. On a societal level, what kind of a sick society have we created that such a story is intelligible?
Right. Right. Yeah. Agreed. That is, we've been talking about this for a while, how, the country is going to undergo a social collapse. And there was that great article that came out years and years ago. It was on Medium, way back in the Medium heyday, where the guy was from, I forget what country he was talking about. You know it. You're going to know what I'm talking about when I describe it. He says, I've lived through a social collapse. It doesn't happen all at once. There are these little stories that just add up day after day after day, and they don't go away. This would fit right into that. Right.
Yeah, he was from, I believe it was a Middle Eastern or North African country that had collapsed.
I forget where. Yeah. But he said, it's not that all of a sudden you wake up and it's like a meteor landed on Main Street. Right. It's like little by little, you just notice things aren't functioning the way they're supposed to. Strange events occur like this one with increasing frequency, and before you know it, the society becomes unrecognizable. And this is a symptom of that, if anything.
Please clap.